They are confronting and interrogating the conspiracy, "My mama told me black people don't see ghosts." Jamila quotes Juju Bay's podcast with, "What are ghosts, right? Those are dead people that used to be dead. So that's your grandparents, might even be one of your friends. They're people we've known. Were they horrors, monsters, even demons? So why do we have this negative idea of when we think of ghosts? People or spirits have been here before." And she continues to assert that popular culture drives this antagonistic view, just as Tatiana, of spirits, ghosts, let alone spiritual communication and commune. Our definitive history of engaging with ghosts as Black people means talking to our dead and speaking to them with respect. But today, this engagement is often engaging without directly aligning with our historical knowledge. Carmen expresses that ghosts, for the average consumer, are treated like these scary entities because they themselves are bad people or complicated people that still needed to solve a problem that got left behind. Complicated individuals who can either lift you up or help you answer questions that maybe you couldn't answer yourself, or help you find a free parking spot. Wherever that can exist, but one way or another, they are there for resolve more than adding conflict. Your ancestors and you may have had a complicated relationship, and that's okay. And the sentiment wholeheartedly validates why I set and reset several altars in my home. That is why I pray throughout the day. As an Aleo of Ifa, I have been taught traditional Ebo and sacrifices, and this has built a bridge of connection with my ancestors that opened the door of art as artistic offerings. As Kerman states, we are using what is placed in front of us to express ourselves however we can. It doesn't matter if this is the right equipment for the job. The job is just getting done however we need it to get done. Jamila amplifies this and says it is essentially the story of our lives as Black people, including our relationship to religion. Having studied Latin American and Caribbean studies in college, this echoes how enslaved people patronized Catholic saints so that the Orisha could diasporically survive. I've been called a devil and a demon more than a few times for my ancestral veneration, and I would love to read in the comments how you all feel. What are demons? Jamila expresses that there is often this desire to believe there is some evil force responsible for some of the things that happen in the world, as opposed to recognizing the evil of human beings, but like the idea that the devil figure is responsible for our problems, as opposed to taking self and collective responsibility. I personally define demons, demonic possession, evil spirits, spells, as the character traits and the words we use to express ourselves amid dysfunction. Jealousy, envy, greed, violence, gossip. Demons are whatever is being embodied in contrast to love, in contrast to a harmonious flow of being or sense of clarity. As Tatiana said before, this practice requires an open mind. This practice forces me to live life with such intentional ritual and presence, constantly interrogating, challenging, transforming, and re-sculpting who I know myself to be in order to acquire and maintain peace. Mami Wata and all of her various forms throughout the diaspora let me know that a queer Black girl was not destined for hell because she kissed a girl and she liked it. That I was allowed to be authentically me and all of my various facets of identity, as long as I continue to work towards honorable character. Sanity is definitely not the saint in me, yet I am committed to learning until it is my time to transition. As I mature into the woman I'm destined to be, I look towards my younger self in reflection with so much gratitude for having the courage to exist. I tap into that creative wonder now, and it often feels like a trance-like state. I didn't grow up in the practice of Ifa, but I have always had dreams and these premonitions. They only strengthen throughout the years. Even nature really speaks to me. A few terms I wanted to break down in regard to part 1 of this episode and having pride in ancestral reverences are indigenous sovereignty, ancestors, freedom, and mourning. The ritual of honoring my ancestors allows me to embody indigenous sovereignty, authentic existence in spite of the law, the knowing that humane value and character surpasses the illusion of colonial structure and order. The ritual of honoring my ancestors is to honor the collective natural and humane knowledge, guiding forces that navigate the human life experience. I also know them to be the Orisha. The ritual of honoring my ancestors gives me a knowing of freedom, peace, the ability to practice peace sans the threat of danger or livelihood. The ritual of honoring my ancestors allows me the ability to renew myself in mourning, understanding loss in all facets. Frogs, honeybees, birds, now largely dogs. The signs and tellings that I absorb in nature are just out in the world. I would liken to the types of experiences that Tabitha Brown has with coins and high-heel shoes when she knows the spirit of her mother is near. Ancestral veneration, altars and offerings, river gatherings, poetry and song. I believe that mass colonization and genocide inflicted such a shame of being a confident Black American spiritualist that many will subscribe to any other affiliation but that. In the times of this pandemic, who you are when you feel whole is exactly what the world needs right now. Howard Zinn says that history is important. If you don't know history, it is as if you were born yesterday. Anybody up there in a position of power can tell you anything, and you have no way of checking up on it. Through my life and studies, I have learned these ritualistic sciences and arts may be uniquely facilitated in the diasporic African practice, though every indigenous culture across the globe honors the water. Hold on to that. The waters will never make you endure a circumstance you haven't lived before. You are your ancestors' evolution, and we evolve through the children. Lastly, I think it's important to name the creators who co-molded the ways that I think, imagine, and believe. Shelley Pearsall, Toni Morrison, Alice Walker, Sharon M. Draper, Sharon G. Flake, Mildred D. Taylor, Cope Booth, Walter Dean Myers, Angela Johnson, Lurleen McDaniel, Shakespeare, Elle Devine, Octavia E. Butler, Zora Neale Hurston, Ntozake Shange, Maya Angelou, W.E.B. Du Bois, James Baldwin, Alex Haley, Nikki Giovanni, Angela Davis, Eartha Kitt, Beyonce, Bell Hooks, Kimberly Williams Crenshaw, Patricia Hill Collins, Alicia Harris, Dominique Christina, Miles Hodges, Sarah Kay, Ralph Ellison, Jasmine Mons. I thank all of you so much for making space to be present with me. I definitely hope you choose to return. And if you haven't heard it today, have a great day, and you are so worthy to be loved.